Alright, hello there everyone and welcome back to the Asymmetrical Controller podcast. Today is just Shark and I, for your entertainment pleasure.
Hello.
um, so, Shark, you're talking earlier about the Steam sale. So,
Yeah, it's terrible. It's good, but terrible.
Yeah, because, I feel like you and I both end up spending about the same amount, because you said you spent about $50?
About 50.
Yeah.
I got, about 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's honestly not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and what do you got? You got all three of the Witchers.
Yeah. Got all 3 of those.
And then
I
what
got
else were you
Middle
saying?
Earth.
Middle Earth, yeah, that's right.
The second one, apparently.
Yeah, which to be honest, the second
Uh,
one is the only one you really need because it fills in the story of the first one pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah? It does?
Yeah.
I never played them, so this is basically what I wanted to do this year, is just, like, play games I've never played before, which I should have played before in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like you'll have fun with that game because they'll be your first sort of dive into what they call the Nemesis system.
Oh, yeah?
Because the way that those games play is they're like they're just regular grunts throughout every map that you can defeat like normal games. But then there are certain characters who are like officers and like generals and whatnot that you can either recruit them onto your side and have them fight for you, or if you attack them, but like sometimes they'll have like siblings who will then become your rival because you killed their sibling, and
Oh, I get you.
all these other weird
So it's like a
things.
choice game?
In a way, yeah.
See, that's what I was kind of looking for. I was playing Dragon Age recently, again, trying to get through the second one, but I restarted again. And I was looking up other games that are kind of like that with choices and RPG, open world kind of. And that one came up. So thought I'd
Yeah,
give it a shot.
yeah, it's definitely a good one. There is in the beginning. There's a bit of like a bit too much hand holding for like the first 2 hours, I'd say.
2 hours? I want to speed through that. I can't handle it.
Yeah, you'll be able to speed through it, and then after that, the game is just like, all right, here's the main objective. You already know what you can do. Go crazy.
Go do it. Yeah.
Because I'm the sort of person where I go into a game and, assuming it's an open world game, I'm always like, let me just dive in. If I see something over on the horizon, I'm gonna go towards that.
Yeah. Me too.
Because of course, that was the weird thing that just during the Steam sale, I got Horizon Zero Dawn. I think that's what it's called. I think that's it.
I think I know what you're talking. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah. That's the only one on PC. I know there's another one that's out, but it's only for PlayStation consoles right now.
Why did you say that? Because I've been looking at this game. Now it's on my wish list.
What, Zero Dawn?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of the...
Before it's over.
Oh, yeah. But one of the things that I did very early on in the game is I saw, like, a bunch of side quests on the way to the main quest. And I was like, oh, let me just stop by those and do those. But all the NPCs started, like, semi-breaking the societal rules that exist for your character in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And because you start out as an outcast to the society. And so the whole thing is no one's supposed to talk to you. Like, not even other outcasts. But by doing all the side quests, they're all like, I shouldn't talk to you, but I need your help. And doing all these things is just like, it's like, okay, this feels like you're doing lore breaking very early on, but I mean, I'm not going to judge because I get good loot early on.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. But yeah, because I think Horizon Dawn was really the only thing I got during the Steam sale that was actually on sale. Because the only other things I got
What else did you get?
I got 2 DLCs for Stellaris, which I don't know if you've ever played. It's one of those like spacefaring like real time
Like,
strategy games.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, and it's just one of the things where because it's made by Paradox, and Paradox is infamous for having way too many DLCs for a game.
Yeah.
And so I've always resisted like getting all of the DLCs for like Stellaris at once because they're always like ridiculous prices. Because I think right now, even with them on sale, I think all of them combined is like typically around like $80-$90.
Damn.
And I'm like, okay, I can't do that. But just over the 2 or 3 years I've been playing the game, I've bought one here and one there and this and that. That overall now I finally have, I think, all but one DLC, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy now. This is
Quite a
fine.
collection.
Yeah.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, almost there. The last one has apparently gotten a bit of mixed reviews, so I'm like, okay, I'll wait for a good sale for that one. But
Yeah. Just wait for like the Christmas sale or something like that.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so there are a few stories that I've found on the internet, just gaming related, that kind of piqued my interest. That I feel like you'd be potentially interested in, or at least confused
Don't
by.
Confused.
Well,
Interested and confused, or like it's my personality.
yeah. So here's the most confusing of them all for you. Anime dating sim that can prepare your taxes was removed from Steam, but as developers say they want to disrupt corporations, not steal your social security number.
All right.
So there is a game, and this is reported by PC Gamer. There's a game called Tax Heaven 3000, and it was on Steam for a matter of 1 day. And
One day.
Yeah, 1 day. And it is a game where, from the looks of it, you're trying to date a character by the name of Iris, who what is it?
And what's
It
this
says,
called again?
it's called Tax Heaven 3000, and the whole premise is you go on dates with this girl, and over the period of playing the game, she'll file your taxes for you.
Oh, lovely.
And it's like, legitimately, it will file your taxes for you. Like, that's what it was set up for. Because it
That
said...
is so dumb.
I know. But it said right here,
I mean,
tax
props
heaven...
to the people who coded that, but
Oh, yeah. But it says here, Tax Heaven 3000 is designed to prepare 2022 U.S. federal income tax returns for single filers without dependents. Tax Heaven 3000 does not support all tax situations and may not check for all possible deductions and credits that could apply to your individual tax situation. Tax Heaven 3000 is intended for filers with simple W-2 income, does not support amended or late tax returns, and does not support state returns. Which, and that's the statement from the developer.
that's beautiful, honestly.
But yeah, it's one of those...
If I were able to like code and
Yeah.
do it properly, I would do some stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, when I initially saw the article, I'm like, this can't be real. But then when I saw it was from PC Gamer, I'm like, oh, okay, it's real.
It's real in another world.
Yeah. But apparently, I want to see the actual reason. It said, okay, so just before the store page was wiped, MSCHF updated the store page description to say that Steam was deplatforming the game and hinted that maybe TurboTax sent a check to make it happen. Okay, so they're alleging the TurboTax is after them.
TurboTax is the cause of it.
Yeah. Let's see. Corporate tax filing service. Oh, this is a statement from the developer still. Corporate tax filing services like TurboTax are predatory, parasitic bottlenecks that deliberately complicate the tax filing process in order to make it unnavigable by ordinary people. And then goes on to say, like, how they were making the game to make it not be as problematic. So, this seems very strange overall.
Seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like with the developers, they must have gone into this knowing that it'll make a statement and not much else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I don't feel like a lot of people would be willing to trust a video game or something disguised as a video game.
I mean, people that don't understand really how things work probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
But, like, for me, I would probably buy it and just try it out for the shits and giggles of it.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, if it's legit for some stuff, I mean, why not try?
Yeah, yeah. But, I don't know, it's like I always have weird problems when, like, whenever I do any job interviews, and they're always like, oh, can we have your social security number? I'm always like, why? Like, why do you want my social security number? What could you possibly get from that? But I don't know. At least that's been few and far in between. But yeah. But then, while we're on the topic of games that are no longer on Steam, do you remember the game Dark and Darker at all?
I do not.
Okay, so Dark and Darker was a game that was like kind of like a medieval version of Tarkov. Have you heard of Tarkov?
Possibly.
Okay, it's kind of like
there's so many games like it's at the point where I remember them, but I have to look at a picture of what they are to actually remember them. You know?
Yeah, yeah. So Escape from Tarkov was or still is out there. And is kind of like a game where you drop into an area, get loot, and get out, if possible, without being killed by other players.
Mm-hmm.
And Dark and Darker was like kind of the medieval version of that they were doing. And it was slated for release, I think, fall of this year. But it has now been removed from Steam because the developers by the name of Iron Mace, they got a cease and desist letter, I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, so there's apparently a rumor as of now, at least reported by Games Radar, is that the team has allegedly been served with a cease and desist request from publisher Nexon, which is alleging that some of Dark and Darker's development code, which was created by members of Iron Mace's team whilst they worked at the publisher, originates from Nexon's own dungeon crawler that has yet to be released, codenamed P3. So, it'll be interesting to see where this goes, because have you ever had to sign an NDA before at all for any jobs?
Not for any jobs, but it was something like way back when they were building something here in my town. I did, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
that was like maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah, because I know, like, for my community manager job, I had to sign an NDA of sorts. I think it was a very loose NDA.
Yeah.
But I know there are some companies in the gaming industry that have anyone that works for them sign a non-competition, I think it's called, NDA, where...
That makes sense. Like, where they can only work for their company, and if they're caught, you know.
Yeah, and from what I understand, I think there's even a version of that sort of NDA where anything that an employee develops during that time period that they're employed is the property of the employer and not the employee.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's always, and those things are always interesting because it seems like it's a bit of loose territory as to what is deemed created by the employee based on what they do at work versus what they develop just on their own based on some idea they had that they just don't share at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I feel like there's enough of a slippery slope that some companies can like get away with taking ideas here and there, but I'm not sure. And that's where I feel like the Dark and Darker sort of kind of leans on things where it's like, okay, is this really
Wouldn't
them?
surprise me because
Yeah.
there's a lot of companies that are just like kind of shady.
Yeah. And it seems like a sort of genre that Dark and Darker and Tarkov are sort of starting to create is something that people are really enjoying. And so I'm wondering uh if this is just an attempt for Nexon to kind of curb the amount of competition they have with their own game of the same genre that's coming out, or if this is just legitimately the Dark and Darker devs screwed up and Nexon could, in theory, either take control of Dark and Darker altogether or uh, just tank the game. I don't know. Let's see. Bessie, do you have anything that you want to talk about?
I don't, but my mind is like, last night I worked a 16-hour shift, and
Oh
my
shit.
mind is like all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm like underprepared this month or this week.
Yeah. Now, have you at all looked into the game called Dredge by Team 17?
I don't even think I've heard of that. Let me look it up.
Okay. So Dredge has been getting, from what I've seen, rave reviews. And it's a fishing game, but it's a fishing game that eventually becomes a psychological horror.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And it seems like such a strange combination, but I know from the first trailer I ever saw of this, I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't care. I'm going to buy it when it comes out. And I think by the time this podcast episode releases, it should be out. 'Cause I
Reminds
think it
me of
comes
the
out on the
Bermuda
30th.
Triangle.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah, it
seems
comes
that
out the
way.
30th. I'm looking at it right
Hmm. But yeah, because from what I've been able to tell, it's been getting rave reviews from everyone. Because yeah, it has 8 out of 10 from Nintendo Life. Uh,
now.
let's see what else. What other? Let me do a review score. Yeah, 80% Metacritic, 83% Open Critic. Um,
I kind of like the art style on it. It reminds me of this game I played before called Oxenfree. If you ever played that,
I don't.
it's also like a choice game.
I feel like I've heard of that, but I don't think I've played it.
But the art style on this kind of reminds me of that game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which, if you haven't played that, I recommend it. There's multiple endings, and there's multiple ways you can save people as well. And it's like a
Oh,
choice game.
like what's the premise of Oxenfree?
You and some friends are going to an island to hang out, and you are Alex, I believe her name was. It's been a few years since I played it. But your name is Alex, and you have a little radio with you, and you keep getting weird stuff on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the island is known to be kind of haunted, but it's not quote unquote haunted, you know?
Yeah.
And so you're just with your friends and on this island, and weird stuff starts happening. You start getting like glimpses from the past and future and stuff like that. And it's really weird to explain because I only played a little bit, and then my game crashed, erased my data, so I
Oh
couldn't
no.
finish it. So I had to rewatch it. I had to watch, I think, I forgot who did the gameplay on it on YouTube, but there's multiple endings of it too.
Hmm. Yeah, it looks like that
Yeah.
game did very well as well, review-wise at least.
Oh, it was a great game.
Yeah. Let's see, actually, who developed that? Okay, it was developed by... Wait, it's developed by Netflix? What?
Was it?
Yeah, Night School Studio and Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Which I would not have expected that from Netflix, but okay.
Well, it has a really good story, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's see. But yeah, I feel like I feel like Dredge is like one of those games where if you go in blind, you'll get the best experience out of it. Cause it doesn't look like a typical horror game these days.
Yeah, most of them you're like in a house, it's all dark, and you have to escape.
Yeah.
That's mainly what all horror games are kind of lately.
Yeah. But, but yeah, but then Chris, that just reminds me of the fact that I know we were talking about earlier, you and I and a few others playing the Inside the Back Rooms. Is it Inside the Back Rooms or Into the Back Rooms? Whichever one it is.
Either one.
Yeah,
That's ins-
there are many backrooms games at this point. There are too many. But yeah, because I know that'll be interesting. Because supposedly they've updated the game quite a bit, um, where there are more rooms, I think, or enemies or something. But
more levels.
yeah, I don't know. I know one of the things I really do want to try at some point uh, is beating the Backrooms game in less than 35 minutes. Because that is
You
the
know,
speedrunner challenge.
there's actually an achievement for what was the name? It's that perspective game I mentioned before.
Oh, was
Super
it
lineal.
Sublime? Subliminal?
Yeah, that one. Super lineal. Lineal. But there is an achievement for that game. You beat it in 35 minutes.
Hmm. I was say, because is Superliminal, is it um, a linear game, or does it have multiple things, like ways to get through a level?
It probably does have multiple ways to get through the level, but there's some levels where you have to do a certain puzzle a certain way. Like you have
Yeah.
to look at a certain shadow from an angle and be able to get something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like Superliminal is one of those games that I really it was one of the games I really do want to try, but I feel like knowing my luck in puzzle games, I'm gonna be absolutely garbage in.
I would say give it a shot. Even if you don't want to play it, like buy it. It's on Xbox Game Pass
Mm-hmm.
for free.
Yeah.
So that's where I haven't beat it yet, but it is so much fun. There's so many different ways to do things and so many little secret things you can do.
Hmm. All right. Yeah.
And you can get stuck very easily.
Now, is it like stuck in a way that you can get yourself out of being
Oh
stuck,
yeah.
or okay? I didn't know if there was like if you solve a puzzle in a certain way,
Most
it's
of the
like
time,
oh,
no.
game over.
Like what I mean by stuck is I can miss something very obvious
Mm-hmm.
and then I just have to look around again and it's right there in my face.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like there's no way to actually get stuck in the game that I know of so far,
Mm-hmm.
but I just get stuck on a puzzle.
Yeah. Now switching over to slightly different entertainment stuff. Are there any movies coming out soon or that are in theaters now that you are interested
Scream
in
6.
seeing? Oh, Scream 6?
Yes.
I was about to say, because that's out currently, isn't it?
It came out, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago. Me and my cousin were going to go see it last weekend, but we're probably going to go see it tomorrow.
There you go. Yeah, and I forget, was Jenna Ortega in the fifth one?
She in the fifth one? I think so. I kind of blocked it out because I went with my ex and he would not stop talking.
Oh, yeah.
So he just was a big distraction.
That's fair.
But I don't think she was. No.
Okay, because I could never really tell with the promotional material that
I
they
think
did
she
for
was
the sixth
filming
one.
Wednesday.
Okay.
I think she was filming Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, because with the promotional material for 6, they put such an emphasis on her. Then I'm like, okay, was she in the fifth one and there's just no promotional material for in the fifth one? Because then
She was in
like
the fourth one. She was in, I think it was the fourth one. She was in the fourth one.
the fourth Scream?
And yes,
Oh,
she was
when
in
did
a
that come
Scream
out?
previously. So she has been in the universe before. She's just coming back.
Okay.
At least I think so. I have not seen it. I'm just talking about from like trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I've almost spoiled myself like 8 times on fucking TikTok. Like for real, I don't mean to, but the algorithm, man, will get you.
Yeah. Okay, so she was in the fifth one, the Scream.
She was in the fifth one?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember.
That's weird to think that only came out last year.
What happened in the fourth? Am I thinking of the fifth one?
Maybe, because the fourth one came out in, like, 2013?
No, I am thinking of the fourth one. Okay, I'm not thinking of the fifth. No, I am thinking of the fifth one, not the fourth.
2011. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it now. I completely forgot what like I said, my ex was talking. I barely remember anything.
Yeah. Chris, speaking of disruptive moviegoers, I went to see John Wick Chapter 4 today with some friends.
Yeah. How did that go?
It was great. Like, it was a great time. Like, we all really enjoyed the film. My friend even, at the AMC we went to, they had this, like, collectible tin and coins for John Wick that you could buy. And one friend was just like, "Oh, I have to get the coins for my mother. She loves collecting coins." And so he like went and bought that, and then had like, and it's a weird thing where like nowadays with the collectible like popcorn tins that you get, they don't fill the collectible tins with popcorn. They give you a separate bin with the popcorn and then the tin. So you have to do like a balancing act. So he was just like oddly balancing things the entire time. But though it was interesting seeing John Wick 4 because, well, first off, the audience was like the entire movie theater was pretty much packed, which I hadn't seen in such a long time, especially since COVID. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I was always shocked by was like the amount of laughter that happened, because there were quite a few like somewhat humorous moments, but there were like sometimes where like some bad guy would just get screwed up by John Wick and people would start laughing at how he got killed, and I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, I don't know, I should be laughing here or not. But even
I will admit, sometimes when there's a part where you shouldn't laugh, I do it on purpose because I find it funny, but I don't mean to laugh out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually get the person that comes with me to laugh at me, not at what happened.
Yeah, but there was a gentleman that I sat next to, like to the right of me, and he was a very strange gentleman. Like I sort of picked it up on very early on, because when all the previews were playing, he had like earbuds in and a podcast or something playing audio wise on his phone, and I was like, okay, this is, and I wasn't really sure like if he was just gonna listen to it the whole time, but then he took it off as soon as the preview stopped. But there are just strange times when he would laugh that kind of like almost unnerved me, because it seemed like times when like the most brutal thing would happen, and then just from him and no one else in the audience, you just hear like
A little bit of
not a
laughter.
maniacal laugh, but a good enough
Just
laugh
kind of
that
like a
you'd be
chuckle.
like, yeah, something that'd be
See,
concerning.
that would be me. Because I don't mean to laugh at inappropriate times, but I do. Like, my favorite scene would have to be Supernatural when Dean gets hit by the car and he just goes flying up in the air, and I just bust out laughing every time.
Oh my gosh, is that in the season finale or series finale?
I don't know. It's in like season 3, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I just remember I've never watched Supernatural. I probably should at some point, considering how long it was on TV for.
It's 15 seasons.
Yeah. But the only thing I really remember, like ever
Stop
really
at
hearing
season
about the
5. You don't
series.
have to go past season 5.
Don't go past season 5. That's what you say.
You don't have to. No, not at all.
Yeah.
That's originally when it was supposed to end. But they were like, you know what? Let's bring it back for another season. And 10 more
Yeah.
later. Like, I love the show. I love it, but I'll also hate on it. Because it should have ended at season 5.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of how I feel about The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's currently ending. I want to say it's its 8th season. Yeah, I think it's its 8th season. And it's one of those series where at a certain point they kept being so repetitive that it got boring. Because the biggest dilemma for Barry Allen in the Flash series is anytime, like, it seems like Iris either gets mad at him or Iris gets kidnapped or anything like that, he always just gets weaker and is always like, no, my lightning rod, it's not there anymore. And I know the whole thing for him, he's supposed to be a very positive character and all the Speed Force is like positive energy and whatnot, but it's like there's a point where for me it got a bit too kumbaya and all.
It usually gets that way. If a show stays on for too long, it gets that way, no matter what show.
Yeah.
And you saying how it was boring reminded me of Naruto on a TikTok I saw. It was like, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Naruto, but Sasuke has been fighting this dinosaur for a week now.
Wait, he's been fighting dinosaur for a week?
Yeah, Sasuke is fighting a dinosaur.
Like a week in the series?
No, like in our time.
Oh, in our time, okay.
I think. I don't know. But I was just like, when did Sasuke start fighting a dinosaur? And I have no context, so I can't provide it.
Yeah. There's oh, what was the one thing? There's some series that I don't know. One of the weird things I seem to notice these days is there are either series that are stopped too short or go on too long, but there's very few that are
Do
like
it the right way.
Yeah, like they know where they're beginning and they know where they're ending, and then that's it. They're done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I kind of worry a bit about the Avatar: The Last Airbender series.
Like the cartoon?
Yeah, because at least
I've never watched it.
Yeah, I highly suggest watching it whenever, because it's kind of I feel
It's
like
one of
any
those
age can
shows-
enjoy it.
Yeah, it's one of those shows where I'm like, I really want to watch it, but I have a hate relationship with Nickelodeon. And it's like on Nickelodeon and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know why. It's just a random hate for Nickelodeon I've had since I could remember Nickelodeon was a TV show.
Yeah.
Or a network.
Yeah. But
Yeah. It's on my list for this year to watch. Finally watch.
yeah, I highly recommend it, because at least like there are two big things or I guess three big projects that they're doing in that universe that's been announced for this year. Or
I know they're
not this
doing
year.
like another Avatar where they're gonna have like Earth.
Yeah, so they're going to. I think it's by 2025. They're going to have a new series that has an Earth bend, like someone from the Earth Nation, as it is, be the Avatar. Uh, and then they're also bringing back all the voice actors from the original Avatar series and having them like pick up the storyline, but like 10 years later, like when they're all adults. And then Netflix is also taking another shot at doing a live action adaptation of the series, which
Oh,
I'm very concerned
I'm
about pretty
concerned
much
about the
everything
live action.
involved. Yeah, because the last time they tried to do live action, it did not go well. Because
Yeah, I remember the dance that the Earthbenders had to do to move a tiny little rock.
yeah, and like that,
There had to be
yeah,
like four of them.
yeah, it was one of those weird, one of those
It's
weird sort
if
of
you go
series.
into it watching it as a comedy, it's so much better.
Yeah, Chris, I didn't realize looking. I just looked it up right now. It has a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Oh my gosh.
which Rotten Tomatoes isn't always the guaranteed greatest thing to look at.
You reminded me of another movie.
What did I remind you of?
Sorry. Cocaine Bear.
Oh, Cocaine Bear. Oh my goodness. Did
I
you?
need to go see it.
You need to go see.
It
How's
has
it?
a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes,
It
yeah.
does, which I'm shocked by. But yeah, because Cocaine Bear was always a weird thing where, like, the actual story that's based on is not nearly as good as what they made it into. But the the marketing for this film I always thought was strange because the poster
For
sort of
Avatar?
for the what?
For Avatar?
No, for Cocaine Bear.
Oh, yeah.
Because the poster very much screams like action thriller sort of thing, but then all of the trailers that they show and like mini ads whatnot
It's
were
based off a true story, too.
yeah exactly although the true story is not nearly as exciting as the film.
No, it's not.
But the all the trailers and ads seem to sort of like one would be like this is a horror film sort of vibe, and
It's
the
like
next one would be
Sharknado.
like it's a comedy, and it's like which one are you doing?
I think it did alright.
Yeah.
It did better than the Winnie the Pooh live action.
Oh, the blood and honey. Is
Yeah,
that
apparently
out?
apparently it wasn't that good.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
I'm not either. It has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Which, to be honest, if there was any critic that was going to take this movie seriously, I'd be shocked. But then again, it's not really a movie that like promotes seriousness in any way because it
Oh,
is
absolutely not.
a strange concept. Like I feel like this is one of those films where like
And since since it has an actual review on Rotten Tomatoes, I still wanted to believe it wasn't real. I wanted to be like, nah, this is like fan made. This is fake. It's not a real movie. No, it's a real movie.
yeah. Yeah. Chris, I just love the generalized audience thing where it just says Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey has its moments, but they aren't enough to make up for the weak plot, uneven acting, and general lack of real horror or humor. But I wonder if this, because I don't know how much this one costs to make, but I wonder if this will dissuade the person who's currently making the the Grinch
I forgot about that.
horror one. I wonder if it'll dissuade them from completing that film.
The Grinch, the mean one. No, it's already out.
Oh, it is?
I think so. Yeah, it's already out.
Oh, because I didn't think the
Or
Grinch
is
had
it?
gotten into public domain yet.
Or maybe it isn't out.
Yeah.
Initial release was on the 9th of
Yeah.
December. So it was out.
Yeah, it was out because 612,000.
Why does it say I already watched this? I did not watch this.
Well, so you will remembered watching this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the Grinch even?
I absolutely
Okay.
love these stupid movies.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole entire section on Amazon Prime Video, and that is like the golden ticket of terrible movies for me. I kid you not, there is I had to turn it off in the first 5 minutes. It was, and I rarely do that with B movies. I usually watch them all the way through. I had to turn this off. It was Clownado. Clownado, and it was, they didn't even have a tornado. It was a false advertisement, first off, but there are, my favorite ones are the shark movies on there.
Oh, the Sharknado and whatnot.
Oh, there's more than Sharknado.
There is?
Noah's Shark, Six-Headed Shark Attack, Shark Bait,
Oh.
Bull Shark. There's all kinds of movies. But the funny thing is, there is an actual manga. It has to deal with the summoner that is trying to get her first summon for the first time, and she gets a little tiny shark that can fit into like a purse. And everyone's making fun of her because it's a tiny little shark. You need a better summon than that. But come to find out, that shark can take the form of every single bad B-rated shark movie. So you have, that shark can turn into Sharknado. It can turn into Land Shark. It can turn into Snow Shark.
Oh gosh.
It's a really cute manga, but it's just, you won't get the references unless you know the movies.
Yeah.
It's really weird that my two interests kind of go together. Because my cousin introduced me to it, and he was like, you know, you like sharks and you like bad movies, you'll probably know that, you'll probably like this. And I did. And then I started telling him the movies, and he was like, you have a problem?
Oh no. Of course, just looking at this Clownado like poster that they had made.
Yeah, it was bad.
I feel like this is a movie that they initially were like, this is gonna be a Killer Clowns from Outer Space type film, and then they like couldn't get the rights for the Killer Clowns franchise title rights, and they're like, what do we do with all this footage? I know.
Let's just make something else.
Yeah.
It is so bad.
Yeah, because like I've recently been looking back at the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, like the first movie.
Oh yeah,
it's so terrible.
It is. You can see the zipper on their costume.
Yeah, well, it's just like just everything. Like I appreciate that, you know, back then, like obviously because CGI wasn't great, that they really did do all these like prosthetics or makeup or just all this thing, which I wish they would do more of today. But then I also look back at the film and I'm like, okay, I understand why you don't do some things anymore. It's just, oh my gosh, like
There's sometimes where you can't do it the way it used to be, and there's sometimes you can.
Yeah, because I feel like if you were to shoot Killer Clowns from Outer Space today with like the best cameras in the world for movies, it would probably turn out the same way as Clownado does. It'd be absolutely ridiculous.
Or what was that one movie? It was about a killer carousel horse.
Killer carousel horse? What?
Yeah, it's Carousel or something. What? Okay. CarousHELL. That's what it's called.
Oh, I'm seeing it now. I love the poster. It just says "Step right up and die."
Yeah, it's beautiful. You need to put this poster in the podcast video.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going.
Please. I've not watched this one. I've seen clips and I've watched the trailer. The trailer is all I'm going to watch. I'll just put it there.
Oh my gosh. I just found this this one picture from, apparently there's a sequel to it.
You're kidding me.
No, there's a CarousHELL 2.
Oh my gosh.
There's a picture of like a baby of the main, I guess, carousel horse. And it just looks so stoned in this picture. This looks absolutely ridiculous.
My gosh. That's different than the one I found.
Oh, and it was made in 2021. What?
I'm glad you showed me the first one because I wasn't sure the second one that I just sent was actually from that movie.
Oh, yeah, that I just saw that one. What is happening?
And I have absolutely no excuse of why I know these movies. I just get really bored and I go to Amazon Prime and I just type in bad movies, literally just bad movies. And I get this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like, I feel like this is the reason why our friend Steven always rants and raves about how horror is going downhill.
It really is.
He always just says, like, nothing's scary anymore, everything's boring, and, like, made for laughs, and it's like, yeah, this is a movie
predictable.
Yeah, exactly.
Most movies are too predictable now.
Yeah, they need to up the game.
There are some that get me because of the genre. Like, I used to not be able to do clowns, dolls, or possessions. Now I cannot do possessions. I've gotten over my doll and my clown fear.
Okay.
But I just can't do possessions because that shit has actually been real in some stuff. At least I believe it has been real.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I don't want to watch this because it freaks so bad.
Yeah. See, for me, I'm always in the camp of, like, if I'm watching a horror film, I really want to fully believe that this could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So usually if it's some outlandish sort of idea, at least in my head as outlandish or not realistic, then I'm like, okay, I'll be scared of it, but I won't be as invested into it as if it was something that could happen.
Yeah. That's kind of why I like found footage films.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's like, it's really corny on a lot of them. There's a lot of bad found footage, but there's a lot of good ones too.
Yeah.
And just having that point of view, it's one of my favorite kinds because it feels like you're more involved and immersed in the movie.
Yeah, definitely. And that's sort of the reason why I recently came across a copy of the Blair Witch Project on VHS, and I'm like, okay,
they have another
I need
one.
This. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't think you were alive for the marketing, which I know you're a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
But the marketing for that, it was crazy for that movie. Because they promoted it like it was actually real, like it was an actual real found footage film.
Mm-hmm.
And people were going into the theater actually thinking it was real until the very end.
Yeah.
And it scared so many people. It was just funny for a few years.
Yeah, because that movie came out when I was 1.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I forget, did the 2016 Blair Witch movie do well at all?
I don't know. I watched it recently, like last year. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't really that good either. I was confused in some parts.
Yeah, it looks like just from looking at things, it did not do well critically, It did semi well with audiences, and it made more than enough money because the budget was 5 million and they made 45.2 million. So, all right. That's anything else you want to talk about?
I can't think of anything. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go on a movie talk.
All right, because yeah, it's surprising we've been at it for almost an hour now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's about time
so
to stop.
yeah, good place to stop. All right, so thank you everyone for listening to us rant and rave about gaming and movies and weirdness and all that jazz. Uh,
Unicorn.
and unicorns, yeah. Well, yeah, we will see you guys in the next episode. Adios.
Care.